Now, mic test.
There we go.
Okay, good.
There we go.
Cool. I think we are live. People are confirming that they can hear us loud and clear on chat.
Amazing.
Yeah, there we
Awesome.
go. A bunch of people.
Nice.
Nice. All right. But yeah, let's get started. So quick intro on what these things are. These are our live stream sessions. We try to do them every week. We're the team at Lovable. So what's Lovable? Lovable is, you can think of it as your personal AI engineer that you can describe your idea to, and that will fully build a working product. And if this is unclear, then don't worry, because this session will be all about showing you how to use Lovable, and you're going to see plenty of examples. We're joined here by a bunch of people. We have Harry and two very special guests. I'll just do a quick intro and hand it over to the rest of you. But my name's Christian. I'm part of the product team here at Lovable, and have been doing a lot of these live streams. Harry, why don't you do a quick intro on your side?
Hi guys, I'm joined here today with very sleepy Peppo, but I'm an enterprise consultant, mainly working with AI projects and products, using Lovable every day to build. So here to help the Clerk guys today in case they get stuck, but I'm sure they got it, to be honest. I'll be in chat.
Yeah, that brings me to both you, Colin and Mike, joining us from the Clerk team. I'll let you guys introduce yourself and also tell us a little bit about what you guys are building over at Clerk.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks so much for having us. My name's Colin. I'm one of the co-founders of Clerk. And I guess if you don't know what Clerk is, we are developer tools for authentication. And so, you know, all the basics of like a sign-up screen, a sign-in screen, user profile with everything you need with 2FA and, you know, just the basics there. We do this cool little user button. So you've seen this in the top right of a lot of apps as a way to access your user profile, change the information about your account. And then something else we're going to demo today is kind of the B2B side of things. So if you go to our B2B product, if you're building like a B2B SaaS app, you know, when people sign up, they need to tell you about their organization, go invite their team. And so we're going to go kind of work through these components as well throughout the demo. And then
awesome. Yeah,
here with Mike.
Hey everybody, I'm Mike. I'm on the product team at Clerk, and yeah, just excited to build with everyone and do something cool.
Cool. I think this is going to be a extremely relevant session for a lot of our users that maybe today struggle a little bit with setting up authentication, especially with third-party providers. So yeah, super excited to see how people receive and start using Clerk from today onwards. So we're going to do live building as usual, which is always risky, but we think it's important to get out there. Before we transition into the sort of prompting part of this live stream, I just want to do a quick housekeeping items, and very short today. So our team has been mostly focusing on platform stability and improving reliability across the board. But we have one small announcement that we shipped today, which is basically you can now connect your Lovable app to a custom domain directly within Lovable without leaving Lovable. And you can truly add that cherry on top of your creation and truly make it yours. Until today, you could publish projects in Lovable, but you would have to use the sort of lovable.app domain. But now you can sort of easily connect your own domain and customize it to whatever you might want. And this is super good and super useful for many reasons. It can make your product more recognizable. It makes it easier to find. And it also has something with like creating the right brand and reputation that can help convert your users into customers. So this is Lovable taking a step forward into sort of like the more distribution aspect of product building. And it's just the early beginnings, but expect more on this front. And I won't do a demo because I think maybe we'll be lucky and we'll get a taste of that later today.
I tried it out and it worked really well. So hopefully we can have the same great outcome and try it again. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Everybody in chat going crazy. Welcome update
For sure.
looks of things.
Cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, having said that, I guess I'll ask you, Mike and Colin, like what are we building exactly? What are we going to build today?
Yeah, so we thought we'd try to, as Colin mentioned, try to show off our one of our B2B features. And so the idea of having a team, an organization, and being able to add members to it and manage different levels of permissions, that kind of thing. And so pretty natural point of collaboration for a lot of teams is just like, what are we working on, and how are we doing? So we thought we'd try building a nice kind of Asana style clone of a task and project management app that has that sort of concept of teams and tasks within teams and projects. And we'll use that as a way to kind of tour you through some of those B2B features that Clerk has. We'll touch on things like impersonation as well, where we'll give that a whirl, see if we can do that. It's a helpful feature for admins. Just see where we get to. Hopefully we could deploy it at the end. We are going to try to hook it up to Supabase as well and show off that third-party auth connection with Supabase, and try to sort of show you that whole flow end to end.
All right, I'm pumped. Let's do it.
Awesome.
Let's get started.
And just for the audience, like, feel free as we go along, if you got ideas or the other reason we kind of went with this is the kind of tool that a lot of people have certainly used. And so if you've got kind of like features or opinions or thoughts that you want us to kind of try integrating as we go along, feel free to drop some comments in there, and we'll see if we can build something all together. Cool.
Awesome. Let's
right,
do
it. So one of the things that, and Colin didn't mention this, but the other thing we have is this, with our components, is we have this idea of a waitlist component. And often when you're building a new project, you want to get something out there right away, like just a landing page, and give a way for people to sign up for a waitlist. And then you can kind of like, trickle out access as you mature it, or just, build behind the scenes and just know that you've kind of got this audience built out. So I thought we'd start there. We won't be in waitlist mode for very long because Lovable is awesome and fast, but it's a good moment to just show that off. So I thought we'll start out just by building kind of the front door landing page and use Clerk's waitlist component to show you how people can kind of join that waitlist, and then we'll kind of transition into the full app build as we go. So let's do this. Let's build.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, Lovable was under waitlist for quite a bit of time, and we managed to get a long list of users that were super happy to get invited once our product was mature enough. So I definitely recommend.
You collect interest before you even have to finish building the thing.
Yeah. I think it's kind of funny that there's this, what's this word, waitlist, or like there's always companies that never remove the waitlist, right? And they get sort of.
That means no one signed up for the waitlist.
Yeah, maybe probably is a symptom of that. Yeah.
Say Clerk's waitlist component.
Is the waitlist component a new thing that you added recently, or has it always been part of the suite of Clerk's?
It's definitely not been there always. I think we launched it probably about 6 months ago. It's actually great. We see new apps launch every day with a waitlist in front. And then we have like a full transitionary flow to like pull people off of the waitlist and bring them to the app. And you can actually have like the waitlist running in tandem with sign-in. So if you have some users who are not, or who are off the waitlist and some who are not, like you can kind of have both going at once.
Yeah.
So while this builds out, which might just take a few seconds, I'm going to pop over to our Clerk dashboard, and we'll make a new application, just kind of start doing the configuration on the Clerk side while Lovable is doing its thing.
Can you zoom in a little bit more, Mike? Just
for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
How's that?
Yeah, that's much better.
I'll do the same thing here. All right, so I'm going to add one more. Sure.
Perfect.
All right, so I'm already signed in here, so I'm just going to make a new application. What did actually, let's see, did it give us a name yet? Collab Studio? Not
Collab
too bad.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's just call it Collab Studio. I like that. Collab Studio. And so this is the process of making a new Clerk application. And you can see here on the right, we've got a sort of preview of what your sign-in component will look like. And as you kind of toggle on the different auth strategies that we support, you'll see this change. So let's, we're sort of in a technical realm. So let's turn on GitHub, and maybe we'll try LinkedIn as well, just so you can kind of see the different ways that we do this and support different ways of signing in. So that's the preview. We'll just do this, create the application, and you get our quick start guide. We don't really need that here because Lovable is doing a lot of that work for us. But the bulk of what we're going to look at first is in our configure tab. And so there's a lot in here. I'm not going to go through anything in detail, but because we are going to use waitlist mode first, I'm going to pop into our restrictions setting and put us into waitlist mode. So the default is public. You can sign up or sign in, but since we want to try this waitlist approach, we're going to do this. And
That's
sorry, I didn't hear you.
Really nice. That's awesome how easy it is to change.
Okay. So that's good to go. And I'm just going to go and grab the API key that we're going to need as well. Just need act. Let's take this. So we got that copied. Let's go back over here. How are we doing?
Still running.
So we're almost there.
We're almost there. It's that Sonnet 3.7 ambition. It just writes.
Yeah, right. It's like it's amazing how much it just reaches.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I noticed a big change when you guys shifted over to 3.7 and just how much it tries to do up front. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets a bit ahead of itself, but it seems like it's getting better.
Yeah, I think in the last stream, I think we prompted with something super general, like a Luma clone or something, and it just built almost entire app on the first generation, which kind of left us with little to do.
Let's see what we got here. Come on.
There's a interesting question here where somebody says, if I've already created my app on Lovable and I'm currently editing it to perfect it, can I easily switch over from Supabase to Clerk? And would that process be difficult?
Oh, it needs to so it would not be that difficult. If you just kind of Google for, well, honestly, you probably don't even have to Google. You should just be able to prompt to use Clerk Auth with Supabase. That's like a documented flow, and Supabase basically supports other auth providers coming in, and it will read. I mean, the technical thing behind the scenes is there's a JWT that Clerk generates, as well as Supabase Auth generates, and so Supabase has a way of listening to either Clerk JWTs or Supabase Auth JWTs. And so it's a pretty one-to-one swap.
Awesome. Nice, like a USB, just plug it in and you're ready to go.
Sure, yeah. All right, so we got this homepage here. It's looking pretty nice.
Cool. Mike, can you explain what happened there? Nice. I think it's just relevant to understand what there was a white screen.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So because we're using Clerk, it needs a key, and so we had to put in that key, and the key gets stored in the code. So I can pop in here. Actually, I love this new code view feature that you guys added. It's really great. So we should see the key right here. Yep, exactly. That's what I pasted in. So then it gets passed.
Why is it okay for us to paste this in a client?
So this is a public key, so it's loaded in the browser, and so it's okay for it to be shared. That's.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, I could go to more.
Yeah.
I mean, the simplest, quick explanation is like users are allowed to sign in without having access to a secret key, right? And so the way Clerk has architected our API is it's kind of also accessible without a secret key from the front end, and we take requests directly from the front end to Clerk's API.
Okay, so I was clicking join waitlist. This has got some styling stuff right now. Why is it
Interesting.
Let's go to waitlist page. Let's try going straight here. Huh.
Being redirected. Huh.
Let's have a look and see what's going. Waitlist component not found. Well, it's definitely there. Let's have a look. Waitlist page.
This is a cool example.
Yeah, just have a look at what's going on. Oh, if waitlist. Oh, why did it do this? It's a timer. That's weird. I'm just gonna a small delay to ensure the UI renders properly. All right. Well, let's just pull that right out.
Just delete it. See what happens.
There we go.
I think interesting. This is the power of where somebody that knows how to read code can come in.
All right, that's better. Yeah, exactly. Let's just see if we can clean up this styling here. Move any styling. Wait. There we go. Our components have a, for those who want to dive into CSS and styling, we have an appearance prop that you can customize a lot of the styles, but in some cases we're fighting against, fighting against the design that's, there we go, way better. Perfect.
That's so cool.
Awesome. I close my console here. All right, cool. So let's try this out. So if I do, I'll just add myself to this for now. I just have a Gmail address I'm using. I'll do this, join the waitlist. There we go. So now if I pop over to Clerk, because we turned on waitlist mode, you'll see we've got a waitlist tab up here, and we should have that email address in here. Status is pending. So, you could basically then like launch this thing, into the world and have people sign up and join the waitlist. And then you can kind of keep building. And when you're ready, you can just say allow, and they'll get an email inviting them to join the application and be able to sign in.
Yeah. And just to be like super clear, like having a waitlist when you're launching a company, you just want to sort of get early feedback, validate the idea. You want to accumulate like a long list of potential customers that will be waiting for you once you have your product ready. It's like super typical. It's a very sort of growth tactic that a lot of companies use, and this just builds it out of the box for you from day one. So this is super useful. I mean, we Lovable. We built our own waitlist, and I think we struggled a little bit with, especially transition period of like, okay, how do we manage like migrating the people that have already signed up to become users, and like that whole part was a bit complex, and it was like involving several systems. So this definitely seems like it would have made our life much easier.
And I guess at this point in time, we should check, has it also mounted sign up?
I was just gonna see. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, it did same styling. Oh, it's probably got that same timer delay in there, but
so interesting.
So interesting. I haven't seen it do this before. Let's try. Yeah, okay. Let's just go clean that up a little bit first. But yeah, it looks like it did. Yeah. So again, okay, hold on. Let's fix this first.
Do you think it's going to be faster to prompt, or are you going to do?
Yeah, let's try it. I'm probably too quick to read your code. I'm sorry. Let's remove the.
While you do that, there's maybe a question here that could be interesting, which is, can you communicate and like send emails to this waitlist that you start accumulating via Clerk, or like is that something you need to set up yourself?
It's coming soon, is what I'll say. I mean, like you have access to all the emails, but as of right now, you'd have to like export and dump them into another tool. But we're trying to make that more readily available soon.
Yeah, the idea is that you'd be able to come in here and you'll have a wait list that you can communicate with.
Yeah, what it does do out of the box is like when you pull Mike Wickett off the waitlist, they'll get an email saying that they're now able to access, but only that one is included. There's not like a send a bulk email with an update or something like that yet.
I'll show that process of taking someone off the waitlist and then inviting them to join.
Cool.
All right, so that's good. And then I just need to say move styling.
It's another interesting thing. I think we got some questions in the chat here. Like, why does it say development mode in the sort of components? Like,
yeah, good question.
I mean, at a high level, it's because we're still developing. But the longer explanation here is to make auth work in development mode where you're not on a like production domain yet. We have cookies. Like cookies work slightly differently in development mode than in production mode because you're switching between domains a lot. So like you're talking to a Clerk API on a different domain than this preview team collab studio.lovable.app. And so we have to relax some security concerns for dev mode. And then when you go to prod mode, we kind of heighten security again and you have to switch. So
makes sense.
So you can see here now we're on the sign up page, but of course, because we're in waitlist mode and access is restricted and you can't actually sign up. So you should be able to click and go and join the waitlist, which didn't quite work, but you get the idea. And then if you are approved, which I'll go through that flow right now, then you can actually go and sign in. So let's try that.
Well, so we should show just just try signing in.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, okay.
If it doesn't work.
That's that. Yeah, or you want me to try
Nice.
the real email address? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I guess you can't sign up, but
Or like a
yeah, maybe Google.
Yeah, sure. Because I'm sharing my Chrome window, you probably can't see the pop-up here, but there's basically just the usual pop-up you get when you go to sign in with Google, where it asks you to choose an account. And then I'll just click.
And do people need to put in their own Google client details and stuff like that? Is that something we do in Clerk?
So they will when they go to production. So while we're in development mode, all this is we like preload Google client IDs for you that are shared, but then when you go to production, you have to.
I'll do.
Yeah.
I don't know why this. Usually this drops down to show the different paths, but I'm not sure what's going on here. Anyway, that's okay. Work around it. Okay, so let's try the approval flow. So, and actually, you'll see here, I already got this email. That's just saying you're on the wait list.
Nice.
You know, it's pretty bare bones email. I'll just actually, maybe this is a good moment to pop over and just show you. I won't spend too much time here, but just that you can customize the emails that Clerk sends on your behalf. And there should be one here for the waitlist invitation. And so you can come in here and customize, pretty much everything about it. If we had a logo on here, that would be included, but then you can come in and make changes to all these different elements and kind of customize the email to make it look the way you want. And that applies for every kind of transactional email that Clerk would send.
Very powerful. Lets you put your branding in and
Exactly.
make it yours.
Exactly. Yeah. We got to figure out how to get Lovable to be able to reach in there and change those for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of cool, actually. Okay, so let's try the approval. So let's say, okay, great. We want to start maybe to Christian's point, like, especially if it's something that's really popular, you don't want to have a crush of users all at once. You want to be able to kind of like give early access for beta testers, or to kind of just get your bearings on your application and see how it's going. So you could selectively come in here and choose, different users that you want to allow. And so I'll just hit accept. And now if I go back to my email, yeah, we should get an email here. Don't know if this is going to work. It's probably going to take us to account portal.
I have a hard time imagining, but we'll see.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So this is our account portal, which is basically like a sort of fallback behind the scenes sign-in flow. But now I should be able to come back to Lovable. And actually, I think I need to make my account here, unfortunately. Let's do that real quick.
You should be. Okay, I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Because I won't be able to sign in. There's a Google Flow. Yeah. So we'll pop back over here and sign in. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah, we're still in restricted mode. Oh, actually, I'm just going to do that. I don't think Lovable's built out the dashboard yet, so it's probably got nowhere to take us. Oh, it did. Look at this. Beautiful. I shouldn't have doubted it.
Nice.
Cool. So now you can see Colin mentioned earlier the user button, and this is an example of that. So this is our component for when you're signed in. And you have sort of all the basics you want for allowing a user to manage their account, kind of just out of the box without having to kind of do anything. So you can see who the user is. If I click manage account, you get this profile view. People can change their their avatar. They can add additional email addresses. You can see this is connected through Google. If I'd used GitHub or LinkedIn, it would also show here.
And it will handle the merging of those different.
Yes, exactly. So if you could sign in with the same email, the same identifier through a different provider, and we would join those accounts and show that all in one place.
I'd love to ask chat here. How long do you think, guys, it would take to build this all from scratch in Lovable with Supabase? A long time, I can imagine. Like, it's cool that this is out of the box like it is. As I know, you spend hours.
Yeah, and then you've also got, because we signed in with a social provider, we don't have a password set, but you could set one here if you wanted to, and then you'd give you another way to sign in just by typing in your email address and your password, and you can see the different devices that we've signed in from over time as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff out of the box here. That's pretty great. Yeah, do you want to try? Should we try the 2FA now, or?
Yeah, I mean, might as well just go toggle it on and click dashboard, and this is a.
Yeah, somebody in chat says this will save hours and hours and hours.
That's the
of time.
goal. Yeah, that's the goal. So yeah, kind of what Colin was mentioning is if you want to step your game up in terms of security, there's a lot of different ways that you can verify people's accounts, and we support passkeys, verification links, even SMS as well. But if we put on multi-factor, what should I do here? So this is still in dev mode, so we give you access to all the features when you're building.
Yeah. So there's a question from Alex from chat here saying, does this work like the Supabase and GitHub buttons on the top right corner? And the answer is it's slightly different. This is more a sort of lightweight integration that will require you to sort of tell Lovable that you want to integrate with Clerk, and Lovable will have some knowledge of Clerk and it will guide you in the process. So it's slightly different, but you should like Lovable should have the right context to sort of guide you at like throughout the integration, as Mike shared at the beginning of this building session.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's try this.
I think the other thing we're mentioning too is like this is all getting better by the day, by the week in terms of the integration experience, and yeah, like we definitely dream of like somehow letting Lovable reach into the dashboard of Clerk and do some of these configuration changes, and we're theorizing ways that can happen, and yeah, it should only get better from here.
Oh, we didn't ask before.
Was actually I have a question, like, have you guys factored in, or are you already factoring in like that AI will write a lot of the Clerk integration code? Like, are you starting to think about how you can make Clerk be just a better companion to LLMs?
Yeah,
that you're implementing a lot of this. Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely. That's been a huge area of focus for us in the last while, and just we're trying to really focus on that, because this is the future of building applications. So yeah, it's definitely something we're working hard on. Why didn't that ask me for two-factor?
Cool. There's another question here, which I saw come up a little bit earlier, which was, if I wanted to try and start using Clerk today, could I do it for free? What's the situation on usage? Can I try it out like Supabase?
Oh, sorry. We're debugging.
Don't worry. So somebody was asking if they wanted to start using Clerk today, and just start playing around with it. Do you guys have free accounts? Could they just make an account and get going?
Yes, definitely. So yeah, I'd say Clerk's like free plan is it's currently pretty generous. You can use it in production up to 10,000 MAUs, so monthly active users, and then the lowest price plan we have is $25, and that lets you blow past 10,000, and it's 2 cents per user after that. But yeah, like the free plan, we very much encourage playing on Clerk's free plan.
Hacking. Yeah.
There we go. So I just secured my account.
Awesome.
You can give me a call if you want, everybody. And
No.
it's fine, whatever. I don't have a fake phone number, so it's okay. And then so now we've got an extra layer of protection in there. If I sign out, sign in again, should get a.
That was quick, huh? We only did a couple of prompts and we're already here, which is cool.
There's something, if you want to send me your URL, Mike, I'm curious to see what was causing the routing issue for the routes in the downtime.
We added this sign-in flow. Have we tested
2FA?
2FA?
No.
That might be on our end. So that basically the flow that's going on where it's popping up Google instead of here. So just enter your email address instead, and you should be able to do it that way. So I guess like for Lovable, and like that's interesting. that feels like another timer
Yeah,
redirect
I don't know
thing.
what's going on there.
I
have an idea actually.
But I will still explain this. So we used to have clerk set. So like when you click sign in with Google, it would actually redirect the whole window to.
Oh, did you lose them, Harry?
I think we have.
Well,
That is okay though. We'll just make some shapes or something whilst we wait for them. No worries. No worries with those.
they're back soon.
Yeah. In the meantime, any questions in chat? Anybody got any questions in chat?
Are we back?
They're back, I think.
You guys are back.
We've got you guys again.
Sorry,
Yeah,
y'all.
we've got you.
Sorry about that.
All right, let's try this again. I think
Cool.
we got this going here. It was set. It went to routing path. No, okay, it's not happy. All right, anyways, let's move on.
Somebody says, I absolutely love Lovable. I've been a software engineer since the late 1980s and have never put such polished software together this quickly. Awesome. Hopefully a clerk, you can make it that little bit extra better with some auth as well. Keep it clean.
All right, well.
There's some extra refresh that's causing trouble in our sign-in flow that we'll have to look into. Why don't we just pull 2FA back off and we will investigate that.
Live
Yeah.
building.
That's how it goes.
We're here for the bugs. We are.
All right, so let's we did the waitlist flow. Let's move on and we'll sort of start implementing the rest of this. So if I can get back, why is this not letting me navigate? That's annoying. Okay, that's all right. We will go to configure and turn off. Well, basically now let's sort of imagine we're ready to go into public launch mode. So we'll just take off waitlist, go into public, and now that should allow anybody to sign up. I just need to get back to the home. Okay, nice. Thank you, Lovable. Maybe. There it goes. Perfect. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, great. So now we should have signups available for everybody. And so I'm going to try just using GitHub again. This is popped up in a window, so you won't see it, but it's a typical flow of approving a auth provider. Oh man, it's not happy now. Demo guys. And why is this?
Maybe try a hard refresh.
Yeah.
See that. It's a weird routing issue.
Okay, so I already signed up. So let's just try this.
Yeah, we're losing.
So I see a question here. Somebody said, will Clerk add SMS and emailing capabilities? You guys have already touched on the fact, like in the future, we'll be able to send more emails. Any thoughts on SMS as well, or texting?
Yeah, I mean, if we do SMS, it'll have to be basically like a bring your own Twilio account thing. We do SMS off, but to get those like approvals, we're pretty restricted in like the content of the SMS we can send. But if we do like a bring your own Twilio account, we should still be able to streamline it where you can call like a user.sms instead of something else. Instead of basically like calling the Twilio API directly. This is very interesting.
Good. Sign.
Somebody says this is where I use restore.
Yeah, I know exactly, right? Okay, let's just try.
Oh wait, can I see just the router?
Yeah.
Oh, can we take path off? Sign up path off.
Here?
No, in the sign up page and sign in page, can we get rid of path equals?
Yeah.
Kyrie says, you all are good. I got the 2FA to work with my phone number. This is sick.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Glad
so
the
we
guys
need to
at Pub-
diff against his.
Yeah, right.
Let's pull,
Yeah,
pull
it's
this
gonna
off
back this up
again.
here.
Let's see if that fixes it.
All right.
I think that that arguably explains a not found.
Mm-hmm.
That's promising.
Hey, there we go. We did it. We did it.
Yeah.
The luxury of having the library creators on live.
The OG clerk here, yes. All right. So we've got some work to do here. So let's let's move into doing some of the organization, adding the org switcher and kind of showing that process. So this looks like it's all, yeah, cool. Here we go. Nice, thanks, Lovable. I love how it just it gets so good. It just even though it reaches pretty far, it at least puts in placeholders for you, which is really nice. Okay, so let's
do it.
There's a question here by the Feel Good channel. They're asking whether Clerk makes it easy to create different admin accesses, like super admin, admin, owner, etc. I think you guys maybe will dive into that a bit later.
I think we're getting kind of straight to it now, but the short answer is yeah. That's and we do it in the context of like if you're selling your software to another business, like that business's employees will have different roles within their organization. And so if you have a super admin, an admin, a member, an editor, and so on, like you can define all that in the Clerk dashboard. And that's probably what we see like most commonly.
All right, so let's do this. So I'm going to ask it to add our organization components, and then after sign up as well, ask the user to create an organization. Let's see what we get here. And I think I need to go in here and turn on orgs. I do.
Organizations, I guess, is the do you typically use it in like exchange with teams? Can you just teams and organizations basically is often the same thing? It's basically if you have some software that you want to invite your colleagues with some form of collaboration, then this can facilitate. Yeah.
The way we think about it is like organization is the top level where that has everyone in a company, and then teams, it's not launched yet, but that's going to be like the subgroups within an organization. And so if you go to like GitHub, you might have your front-end engineering team and your back-end engineering team split out. But yeah, so the organization is like the top level one. That's what will kind of subscribe to subscription plans as we get into billing in the future. So, but yeah, it's kind of just, it's the same concept, just we gave it a special name for the top level one.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so this is I won't go through all this in detail, but it's the high level configuration for organizations. So you can, when you first join, you can assign, we start out with 2 default roles. I'll touch on defining additional roles. I know there's a question about that as well. Well, usually the first member of an organization is designated as the administrator. And then you can kind of control how many orgs you can create or how many members can be part of an organization, and a couple other settings as well. And then the roles side, here are the 2 defaults, but you can create new roles, kind of give them names, and
add a collaborator.
Exactly, collaborator or viewer, or you can have all sorts of different layers. So I'll leave this alone for now. Let's see how Lovable is doing here. Okay, so
somehow you end up signed out again. I wonder if you click refresh, if you'll end up signed back in.
Yeah, let's try.
Hard refresh? We were seeing that behavior yesterday where hard refresh ends up.
Yeah.
Got a quick question here for you guys. Stripe and Clerk, what are the possibilities there? A lot of people are asking, can we integrate it with it? How would we handle payments with Clerk?
Yeah, so this is, I guess if you like follow Clerk on X, this is our big thread right now where so Stripe is actually an investor in Clerk, and the reason why, or like our goal together, is to make it so you can offer subscription plans within Clerk really easily. And so we've been doing, they're not really teaser videos. It's like, as we get things completed internally, we'll record it. And I want to say we're, on the scale of weeks away from you being able to go into the Clerk dashboard and define, like, this is my silver plan, this is my gold plan, this is my platinum plan, and people will be able to sign up. And you connect your Stripe account first, but it'll all kind of, like, we'll give you components, so that all just works, and you'll open like the user profile or the organization profile, depending on if you're, if we click manage here. I'm jumping ahead a little bit. I should let Mike explain this, but so we showed a user profile before. This is the organization profile. If you're building a B2B application, like where your billing details are usually this organization profile. And if you're building B2C, it's in that user profile. And so all of that is going to come out of the box, and where it's very much like the single top priority at Clerk is getting this thing polished and out the door. And it's very much coming. And you can go check out the latest video from Monday, and I think we're doing another one tomorrow on X.
Yeah, it's looking really cool. People are excited about it.
This looks awesome as well.
Yeah, so you saw when I signed in there, I had the create organization, because we asked Lovable to what did I say here? Yeah, after a user signs up, they should be prompted to create an organization. So Lovable did a great job with that, and I made an organization. Like I said, I was the first member of this organization, so I'm automatically the administrator. And similar to the user profile, you can manage the organization. You can update our logo and manage which what members are part of it and what their roles are, that kind of thing. So
how many of you in chat know how much of a pain this is to set up from scratch once again? This is really cool to see.
I mean, the truth is probably not many, but we're just maybe saving you the work.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
Okay, so let's try adding a user. So if I want to send an invitation, let's invite my clerk.
Really cool. And again, it's pretty seamless. You guys have only done a couple of prompts, right, to get this working?
With a couple little code fixes, bugs. But yeah, absolutely. So I'll send an invitation. Again, this is the same kind of thing where there'll be an email, that you can control the template of and all that I covered before. So we should see an invite in here. Here it is. Yeah, collabs video. And again, this is probably going to take us to the account portal. Need to set up some paths. Oh, no, it didn't.
That was cool.
But
so this we ended up in the popped out version of Lovable.
This is as if I just click this pop out preview here.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I think I might be authenticated as, where did it go? Here it is. Yeah, I'm still authenticated as this user.
Okay.
So let's just sign.
Yeah, so there's certain things, particularly when you're building B2B apps and you're trying to switch between accounts. It's like in normal operation, a invited member of the org is not the same person that sent the invitation. And so there's, I think when people develop this, they often kind of pop into an incognito window to be a second person as they're building, or they just sign out and sign back in a lot. But some of these flows, as a result, have a couple oddities when you are trying to be one person that's actual multiple accounts.
I'm just going to ask Lovable to update our nav so we get a dashboard.
I have a question on my side. Like, how hard was it to nail the abstraction for orgs and invite flows? And like, what do you see a lot of disparity when trying to establish, like, okay, how should the core product work for orgs? Or was it rather easy to just say, okay, yeah, this seems to be like, we can cover like 90% of the cases by...
I think it's interesting. The best practices are actually really well defined. And the way we determine the best practices, it's like we go to Google and we go to Adobe and we go to like the biggest B2B SaaS companies in the world with this assumption that like they figured it out. And what it turns out is they have generally converged on like, this is how it should work. I think the part that people underestimate is how many edge cases there are along the way. And just like kind of special flows of, you know, like, do you support people being in multiple organizations or not? And like, what is the best practice there? So it's not so much that it's hard to identify what the best practice is. It's just that actually implementing everything takes a lot of time. Coming up with the abstraction, I would say, is actually pretty easy at the end of the day, in the sense that the same way we're showing you, oh, this lives in an org profile, like that's just how the biggest, you know, Google, Salesforce, Adobe, like all these big B2B companies do it the same way. And it has always lived in this one page. And so we just pick that as our abstraction. Like, let's do the full org profile.
Yeah, makes sense.
Let's get to the dashboard here. I was trying to get this invite going here, but it is not maintaining. Let's see. Okay.
I have a bit more of a personal question for you guys. Maybe some others in chat. How did Clerk come about? I may open that up to a very long answer, but I'd be interested to know what caused it to start.
Yeah, well, so the short long story is I've been a like founder type person for as long as I can remember, and after college, I tried starting a bunch of different businesses, and I was always like the technical founder, and I would like have business co-founders, and after a couple of years of like it not working, I was like, I still want to be a founder, and but this time I want to like try to be the CEO instead of the technical one. But the only like world I know is engineers and developer tools and developers, and so I picked something that had been particularly annoying for me over all those projects, and that was Auth. And here we are with Clerk. And I think, you know, the name Clerk too, and as you're seeing in this demo, it wasn't just that like Auth was annoying to me. It was like all of this stuff around like user and account management, and the number of times that I set up the like Stripe webhooks and syncing the user data over, syncing it to a CRM like HubSpot, or an analytics tool like Segment, and so on. All of that was really annoying to me. And so we came up with both a name and a product that can kind of go after that. And if you look at the dictionary definition of Clerk, is actually how I pitch it to investors. It's like is accounts and undertakes routine administrative duties. It's like the dictionary definition of Clerk, what we try to embody in like our.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. It's super helpful. You take so much pain out of people's process to just give something out of the box.
We take on the pain for you, and then you.
Yes.
So we got I see some folks have been trying on the preview, adding some organizations, which is super cool. I think we got some of their users in here. Let's look.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, nice. Love it. And so yeah, we got the org switcher here. You can join other organizations that are part of this. I'm just a member here, so you'll see that I can't invite users like my other account could that's admin. And I've asked Lovable just to clean up some of these placeholders and just let us at least create tasks, just store them in the browser for now before we move on to trying out Supabase.
Maybe one question here related to Supabase from Bobby, and I've seen other users in chat asking the same one. Like, what are the pros of using Clerk instead of Supabase Auth?
Yeah, there's a lot there. I think Supabase has done a great job of making that sort of like an easy thing to integrate and get going. And shout out to Lovable for making that integration super cool. I think a lot of it really comes down to what we've been kind of talking about. Is like that when you want to go deeper with Auth and have have more depth of features in terms of the orgs, all the two-factor, the impersonation stuff. It's sort of like when you're ready to go deeper, Clerk is the thing. And then I think the billing piece is going to be a big one as well.
Yep.
I don't know. You want to add anything to that? There we go.
Yeah, it takes a ton of time to build a lot of these components that the guys are showing that come out of the box with Clerk. So you can really think of it as a speed hack as well for your day-to-day building. You just drop Clerk in and you're good to go by the looks of things.
Cool. Yeah. So at least we have this working, but of course this is just in the browser, so it's not actually shared. Is there anything else we want to try prompting here before we maybe give the Supabase connection a try?
Did you show impersonation, Mike? Or
let's give it a go.
I'm very curious about.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Let's try it. I don't know. It's gonna work.
So, what is impersonation for those that maybe never heard this word before?
So it'll
yeah. So it's the idea of it's another one that makes a little more sense in a production context. But like if we have an app and there's thousands of users and someone comes and they're saying, there's a bug. What is often helpful to debug is to like sign in as that user and see what they're seeing. And so we have this feature in the Clerk dashboard where, did that?
No, I'm signed in as let's try. Let me try signing out.
Yeah, I wonder if signing out will get us through here.
I'll try this again. So you'll see. So if you're a application owner in your Clerk account, and
I feel like we should try signing in as Christian. Just
should we give it a go? All right, let's do it. I thought about it. You can come in here and impersonate the user. Let's see if this works. I'll be very interested. Oh, it did work. It did work.
Nice.
Yeah. And when you're in this like administrative mode, there's ways to tell. And so this can all be audited. And yeah, I think the idea is that like as an application matures, you can accidentally introduce edge cases that certain users can see and others can't. And so it just gives you a really easy way to kind of get to their state.
If you've ever tried to support someone else with tech support of any kind, whether it's in a formal support role or even just your family and friends, you understand the frustration where you're trying to get them to explain what they're seeing, or even you can jump on a screen share, but there's just steps to go through, and sometimes it's really nice just to be able to go in and take the time to see what they're seeing, and that's where impersonation really shines.
We have it set up too, where like if a user is impersonating, like we couldn't have gone and changed Christian's password. Like there's some extra limitations on users who are impersonating, and we give developers a way and therefore Lovable a way to tell in the back end. Like you would be able to tell Lovable, hey, don't let a user do this if they're impersonating. We've not tested if Lovable gets that right. It could be a fun one at the end. In theory, it's documented. So
yeah,
who knows?
Cool, super clear.
Yeah, great question. That was fun. That worked. All right, so let's try this Supabase connection. So I've already done. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, somebody says this feature is enough to use Clerk.
It definitely comes in handy for sure. So I've already hooked up my Supabase account to Lovable. So let's just try. We'll make a new project here and call it Collab Studio. Oops, I do that. Generate. I'm not going to need that, and we'll just let that get started. We have some documentation, and like we've mentioned too, we're actively working on an improved Supabase integration. But we do have some documentation that I'll just pull up here, just so folks can see it. Browser on. There we go. There's a bit of a walkthrough guide in terms of integrating Supabase and Clerk. Maybe we can just oops.
We're getting rid of like 5 of these steps in a couple of days. I wish I had shipped earlier, but it's very much coming soon.
I'll just put this in the chat so people can share it out if they want to.
I'll add
And
Nice.
yeah, we'll just kind of walk through this, but there's a couple steps here to go and create some do some setup inside of Supabase to make this work. And let's just see if our project status is up yet. Not quite.
But we probably start.
Yeah, I think we can get going. So, too many projects in here. Go Cloud Studio. Yeah.
Somebody asked again, can I switch my existing project Supabase Auth to Clerk Auth in Lovable? I think the guys have said it's pretty easy to do. It's like a plug-play system, and it supports integration with Supabase's Auth as well as a third-party provider.
Cool. So that's going. Now we'll just do the setup in Supabase. Go to the SQL editor. This is just a bit of step-by-step setup here.
This is a bit of a recipe.
Yeah. Doesn't make the most interesting live content, but we'll get there.
It's good.
There.
For those of you in chat, do you have any questions around Clerk? Whilst we've got the guys here, something you want to pick their brain on, feel free to put it in. I'll try and send it over to them.
Hopefully not. I think like I say that because it's like we really just try to do the boring stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a side and you've seen all these flows before, but I am very happy to answer questions. But that's the dream is just like, oh, everything kind of works as I've seen these flows work before.
Maybe I'll just touch on this while I do it. So what I did is went and grabbed this JWT secret from Supabase, and then I'm coming over to the Clerk dashboard. And under our JWT templates, you can see we've got a couple different integrations here, but you can choose Supabase, and we'll paste in the signing key. And it's already defaulted to calling Supabase and done a couple other configuration changes that are necessary. So we'll drop that in there.
Add the orgs.
It's got, I think it's got everything we need, right?
Oh no, do we need to add?
Oh, in here. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, we should. Oops.
So maybe one question from Ayaush. How much configurability does Clerk allow for all the UI components? Like, for example, the settings pop-ups and maybe the login and sign-up flows?
Yeah, so I touched on it a little bit, but we've got the ability to do custom, style the components to sort of match your application. We also have, if you want to, and this is actually something I want to test more in Lovable, is having it build its own custom components that are using, Clerk's SDK and code under the hood, so that you can really get like that truly custom look. I think our components are a great starting point, and then they'll work fine for you. But yeah, we've got a lot of documentation on building custom flows that use Clerk under the hood, but then you can kind of look the way you want. I'm just going to double check that I have not messed that up. That will bite us later. Yeah, no, that's it. Okay, we're good. Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. So this is going to allow Clerk to issue a token that's using this key that's from Supabase, so that the two can talk to each other. And where are we in our steps? We've done that. Okay, so I'm going to grab a little bit of a base level implementation here and say, I don't know if you have any other notes on the customization side of it.
Yeah, I mean, you can bring your own CSS. One thing that's nice about Clerk components is that they're actually like in the DOM, and so your own CSS will apply to it. And there is, if you want to go completely custom, you can. There are basically hooks that we provide. So if you just don't like our org profile screen or our sign-in screen and so on, you could design something completely custom with React hooks.
Seeing a lot of questions about compliance. Do you guys have
Oh,
any?
we do get a lot of questions
compliance?
about that.
Yes, I can see the chat, but from what I mean, like we have the US EU data privacy framework certification. We have SOC 2 compliance. We have HIPAA. So we are pretty well covered. I guess if there's something more specific, let me know.
Okay,
Cool.
and then we're gonna say
from a regulatory perspective, we're really no different than anything that manages any user data. So like Stripe, many analytics providers, you'll find that our like data privacy addendum is more or less identical and pretty boilerplate.
so I'm just, I think it's got the Supabase client set up properly to use the clerk integration. I'm just having to take a look at what tables we have. And that looks good. And I'll prompt it again to set up the flow when we create a task to insert. Yeah.
I love that you're using chat mode, Mike.
Yeah, I find chat mode really helpful, just to sort of, because again, like you mentioned that, especially 3.7 is really ambitious about going and writing code. So it's nice to have a way to say like, I just want to talk about this. Don't do anything yet.
Yeah.
And I find it really helpful. Oh yeah, actually it's already asking. It knows what I want. Of course it does. Yes. You know what? I don't even need to type. Thank you, Lovable. Great. Yeah, I've been. It's been so fun to be getting really deep into Lovable, and I think I mentioned this in our Slack channel. But my daughter, who's 10, we've been having a really good time building some apps on the side as a bit of a hobby project, just using Lovable. It's super cool to see her have fun, have those sort of delightful computer-based experiences that many of us, I'm sure, have had as kids in a much different context.
Yeah.
Oh, so much
right,
easier.
exactly. Like you could
So much easier.
I think my jaw has been dropped for just the past 6 months. Like, it's unreal, this stuff that we can do now, and so easy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Supabase is or Lovable's gonna apply some migration.
So for those who are a little bit maybe a little bit lost or not entirely sure what's going on right now, what are we doing here? We're connecting Clerk to Supabase and creating all the tables we need.
Exactly. So we we're just vibe coding it here. Let's see how it goes. I'm not ready. Let's try. The idea is that we're creating a bunch of different tables and then policies to allow tasks to be made and the ownership relationships to be created between the organization structures. Let's have a look here and see.
Awesome.
Just gonna take a look at
that. Yeah, I think we're more in the actual application code at this point than the connecting.
Yes.
Clerk in Supabase.
Okay, that all looks.
But it's hard to know if the connection worked until
we actually get a chance to try it. Exactly. All right. So
when you get stuck out, I think a hard refresh
it brings it back,
signing you back in.
Yeah,
and that's probably a bug somewhere we can correct after this. Oh yeah, but don't do a hard refresh.
No, I'm gonna let it finish. Yeah. Yeah, Christian, that's what you and I were talking about with the different domains. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to answer a question we had here whilst we were waiting for it to spin through. Somebody says you can add users to an org, but can you add products too? So a location can have products links to users. I think that's right. Once we have the org table, we can then just associate that data to users, correct?
That will come with billing in a sense.
Well, I guess I interpreted that differently.
Maybe I had it wrong.
So like the way you end up in connecting data to a user is like in Supabase, there will be a like user ID column or an org ID column, depending on if you're connecting it to the user or the org. Am I interpreting that question?
No, that's it. Yeah. So I think that was basically what I was saying. How do I add, like, I don't know, my own tasks to my own org for example?
Yeah, so once you set up Clerk and Supabase, Supabase knows, in this state we're looking at right now, like Mike Wickett is signed in and the Clerk and Lovable org is selected. And so it's able to, insert a row into the table with the proper org ID or user ID column.
See if it can fix these. It looks like we've got some
cursive RLS issues.
Yeah, some RLS issues. I'll give it a chance to see if we can fix it.
Yeah.
I have a another project we could just show off that actually does allow you to create tasks, but
You guys, well, that runs. So Clerk has been kind enough to give us a discount for our Lovable viewers here today. So if you want to test out Clerk and you go beyond, I guess, the free limit, then you get a startup discount through this link here. So feel free to scan it.
Click the thing, scan the thing.
Still, let's let it finish. This is always a bit of a journey.
Yeah, for those of you asking if there's a video, it should be uploaded afterwards, so you can go back through this and let's check all the steps the guys did. And we just crossed 2,000 live viewers as well. Woohoo! Awesome.
Wow. Okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's not exactly
done. It might tell me I've already applied it. Let's see. Yeah.
It's a bit weird there. I think there was a bit of a bug on that last.
Yeah, it just didn't finish. Didn't.
Should we try hard?
There we go. Okay, give it a go. All right, so let's try and refresh. Let's see if we get our auth back. Yeah, there we go. Dashboard. Failed to load projects.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Yeah.
More or less here.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's try. It's not much in terms of error messages there. Let's try chat.
Something I sometimes do when I run into like very fishy and tricky RLS errors, I'll just delete the RLS and tell Lovable to re-implement.
Okay. Yeah.
So something we might do.
I think we maybe got a bit ahead of ourselves on the number of tables and the relationships here too. What do we got? Auth role.
Shout out to the Clerk team handling all the questions in chat as well.
That's
Let's
awesome.
go.
Yeah, let's try. Let's just try disabling.
Is there a delete button?
Yeah. Can I get rid of them all?
I think it's probably in a different section, maybe in database. Or there it is. I think on the 3 dots, maybe at the policy level, rather than.
Yep, on the far right.
On the 3 dots. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of.
This is a lot of different.
Do we think it's failing on task or
if you look at the network tab, maybe you get some more info as well.
detect?
There you go.
Yes, I guess.
Recursion.
Let's try to delete the create task RLS and have it do another
Insert.
that.
Do select too, because I think it just couldn't fetch them. Okay, let's see. We'll try this one more, and then I can pull up the other one I have just so we can see it in action. Try
Somebody asked where did my dog go? He left me. No love for me today.
Okay.
Let's see. And that's the beauty of chat mode. It really has the ability to sort of look at the Supabase configuration, pull in the information, like reason exactly, and then come up with hopefully a fix.
It's nice to have it show you what it wants to do first, and then try it. Okay, so okay, yeah. I think some of it is just the complexity of the table relationships. It's let's give it a whirl here.
If not, you have a backup, Mike, which is good.
Yeah, for sure.
You show the end-to-end working. Okay.
Oh, I'm still in chat mode.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like, to some extent, we could spend an hour tweaking RLS and it still ends up being worthwhile because like once you nail it, you can just fly.
Yeah.
And so I've learned to be like patient through these bugs because the payoff is there.
Yeah, for sure. All right. That's still rolling.
Got a bunch of people scanning the QR code. Just a reminder, if you want to get some money off your Clerk account when you sign up, there's a coupon code in the top left or top right for you to set up an account and get a discount as well.
I mean, we can edit the sign-in page. All right,
Let's do it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what.
I was suspicious when it was modifying sign-in page.
Yeah. That seemed.
At that point, sign-in page already working.
Yeah, I got a little off track there.
Yeah, did exactly what I would have hoped.
Okay. Different. Yeah, one at a time. Here we go.
One at a time.
That's the vibe. Aaron says, "Thank you guys. I learned a lot. I'm so glad I watched this live stream today.
Awesome.
That's nice.
Great to
Thanks,
hear.
Aaron. We appreciate you."
All right. Done. Let's just give it a refresh.
Signed in.
That's unhappy. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, let's flip over to the other project. This is like a cooking show where we pull the cake out.
Here's one I made earlier.
So this is what I was working on earlier, and I'll just pull up that project on Supabase so we can see it.
This example is already connected to Supabase. You did the work.
Yeah, exactly. It's already hooked up with Supabase. It's much simpler. You can see there's only a tasks table with some tasks in here. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, we're still signed in here. Yeah, and actually, when I was working through it with Lovable, we just made this little example version, so it's actually really slimmed down. But let's just see if we let's view the task. And, oh yeah, there's a sync issue. Anyway, there. So this one's in here, and we can sort of see that it's. Push this. Yeah, there it is. So that's cool. So what you're seeing here. I won't go too deep in the hood, but this is your clerk user ID. So that the task is associated with that user, and then mark them as complete.
And then the setup steps that you showed before, that will make sure that RLS is respected. And
yes, exactly.
The clerk ID.
Yeah. So it's got some RLS policies in here as well on user ID. But yeah, that's the sort of version that's working.
Cool.
So yeah, do we want to try doing the custom domain real quick?
Yeah, I mean, if you already deployed this one or you already published this one using, you can maybe just show.
Sure.
How
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe that's enough.
It was a great experience. I got to say, like, it was really easy. Just adding the domain. I won't actually do it here, but it was just to sort of show folks. It's a couple steps to click through here, and paste in your domain, and then detected which registrar I was using, and so I just authenticated with that registrar, and then it set the appropriate DNS records for me automatically with very little, and that can often be a pretty big stumbling block. There's a lot of different ways you can kind of make mistakes there. So super nice to see that be so on the rails and so straightforward. And then yeah, it's just a random domain I had hanging around, but yeah, it worked here. And I'm still logged in actually. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So
nice.
Yeah,
So
that was super cool.
Cool. So get your custom domain, guys. We already have hundreds of users today already that have connected the custom domain to their apps. So
do you have a way for people to buy a domain, or is that something you're obviously thinking about?
Not yet. We might be maybe releasing that in the short future, but for now it's only connecting. So the user will have to purchase it elsewhere and then go through the connect flow.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. But this was super interesting. I mean, I think if the goal of this was to convince people of how, like, the amount of time you can save by using Clerk for these sort of auth, sign up flow, login flow, organization, invite flows, I think we succeeded. I think a lot of the people saw the value, and it was super cool to see how much faster you can build basically by using something like Clerk. It was not free of bugs, but that's what's characteristic about these live streams. We always run into bugs, and it's part of the game, I guess. But yes, super nice to have you on. And maybe, is there any sort of last minute reflections or anything you guys want to share before we start to sort of wrap up the session?
I mean, I would just say, like, we're on Twitter, we're on in support. Like, we very much want Clerk to be a great experience inside Lovable. And so as you hit any kind of bug, like, please do just let us know. Like, we don't mind at all being called out for random bugs on Twitter. Like, we'll be responsive and try to get through it. Yeah, I mean, just keep the communication lines open. Like, we really want this to be great.
I've had a couple people reach out through our support channels already, and the support team's been great about just sending them my way, because kind of what Colin said, I'd love to hear, and just get on a call with folks who are using Lovable and Clerk and just work through these things together, because that's the best way for us to learn, what's not working and what we can do to improve. So yeah, feel free to reach out anytime, and we'll make time to connect with you, and love to hear what you're building.
Cool. Super.
Awesome.
And
cool.
Go ahead, Harry.
I guess just to add, like, if you want to view any of the live streams that we've done at Lovable so far, you can find them on the YouTube channel. This episode will be uploaded as well. The guys did like a full tutorial of adding auth. So if you haven't tried it out yet or tried Clerk out yet, like, watch the video replay, and you should be able to get yourself set up really quickly with the app. Hopefully bug-free as well, or you'll be able to get through your bugs with us.
Yeah, and we'll be here next week as well. So stay tuned, subscribe, and you'll get more of these notifications for these kind of building and live sessions.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you again so much. Yeah. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.